What's going on, guys? Welcome back to The Real Talk. Continuing with Spider-Man week, I'm going to be reviewing the 2012 movie, Spider-Man. Check it out. Alright, guys, so this cast consists of Tobey Maguire, Willem Dafoe, Kirsten Dunst, James Franco, and Mr. J.K. Simmons, and it's directed by Sam Raimi. And guys, I'm reviewing this movie and Spider-Man 2 and 3 in honor of Spider-Man Homecoming releasing this Friday. So actually tomorrow, check back for the review of Spider-Man 2 and 3, guys. I'm going to be releasing both of those tomorrow, so you guys are getting 2 videos in one day, so that's cool if you guys like the channel. But with this movie, guys, Spider-Man 1, the 2002 film, fun fact, I did not get to see this movie in theaters, and I'm so bummed out. Like, I hate that, because this movie to me just means something special in terms of the whole superhero movie genre. And guys, I revisited it today and I saw it, and I gotta say, I still love this movie. With that being said, guys, I did have a couple negatives with the film. But the first one is kind of like, it's not its fault, because with time, obviously, visual effects get better. So I was watching the movie, and I felt like, obviously, there's some scenes. And there's that famous scene where Spider-Man's, swinging across the city, has Mary Jane, it's kind of like just, he's stiff. Man, that's so hilarious. But other scenes too, like when he has his original costume right after the wrestling match and stuff, he's crawling up this wall, and you can tell that's like CG or computer animated or whatever. But obviously, like I said, back in 2002, I feel like there were great graphics, or visual effects, I should say. But like I said, with movies like Avatar, and even though I don't like the franchise, Transformers has really good visual effects. And a bunch of other movies like Avengers and stuff like that. Going back to see something like this, it's kind of like jarring. You're like, whoa, what the heck? Like, that's not very good. But I guess, like I said, that is kind of like time's fault. So, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of slack for this, but I feel like the movie was kind of too cheesy. And I know it's like one of the first of its kind and stuff like that, and it's before the whole MCU and before like movies started, like superhero movies, I should say, started to get like not too serious, but started to have more mature content and more realistic and more grounded and stuff like that. And it was like a true comic book movie, but I felt like even for those standards back in the day, I was like, come on, you could have wrote something a little bit better. But I am nitpicking at this point, guys, so I have to let you know. And like I said, I'm probably going to get a lot of slack for this, but I felt, in my opinion, the dialogue was a bit too cheesy. With all those negatives out of the way, I can start off with my positives, and I have to start off with Sam Raimi. I felt like he was a perfect guy to take a project like this and just make it his own and make a unique Spider-Man film. And I'm so glad that he got a trilogy to tell the kind of story he wanted to tell. Bring that Spider-Man and obviously do his take on it, but also stay true to the comics. And you'll see what I'm talking about in my other reviews, and the second one and third one, what I'm kind of talking about. Along with the music and just the chemistry he's able to capture between these characters. I felt like really worked, obviously, and his vision is it was the first comic book movie that kind of had all these colors and was poppy and felt sometimes like a comic book. So I have to give credit to Sam Raimi. Also, the director is in charge of the acting, obviously, and that's another thing I enjoyed in the movie, the acting. Most in part, Tobey Maguire and Willem Dafoe, I feel like they were able to sink their teeth into these roles, especially Willem Dafoe. After watching this movie again, he did a phenomenal job with Norman Osborn and Green Goblin. Just the way he's able to pull off the dual personalities and stuff like that, and his emotions, and sort of his arc. And that's what I love about something that Sam Raimi did, that he made the villain a villain, but also you kind of understand why he's doing these things, but he's going about them the wrong way, But he didn't make him too sympathetic, and I like that. And that's another thing I can talk about, the villain. Let's put those 2 positives in one. Like I said, Willem Dafoe did a great job, and this villain really felt like a real villain to Spider-Man, because he says it in the movie, to defeat Spider-Man, I'm paraphrasing here, but they have to attack his heart, to really get him where it hurts. That's why he attacks Aunt May once he found out that Spider-Man was Peter Parker, and then he takes Mary Jane and stuff like that. So that's something I really like about a villain, that doesn't just try to rob a bank or just always try to be a pain in the ass for the superhero, but he really tries to hit him where it hurts, because he wants to accomplish something, and obviously the superhero is standing in his way. So I felt like Willem Dafoe again he did a phenomenal job, and Sam Raimi was able to bring us a really great Green Goblin. Continuing with the acting, guys, I felt like Kirsten Dunst gets like a lot of slack for Mary Jane, but I felt like she did an okay job. Like, it's not as bad as everybody seems, like her performance, you know? And I felt like for me, when I think of Mary Jane, I think of her. So that means something. That means she did her job. And another standout, obviously, is J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson. He's so iconic in this role. He's so good. This is like one of the things I love the most about this trilogy, is watching him give his performance. Oh my god, it's so fantastic. He's like the perfect J. Jonah Jameson. And also, I really like James Franco playing Harry Osborn. Especially, I really like continuing with the other reviews. You'll see me talking about his arc. So I guess that's all I gotta say about the acting. And obviously, superhero movies have to have great fighting and action. And I thought this movie did a really good job, especially from being released back in 2002. From everything, like even the beginning chase scene with when he's chasing the shooter that shot Uncle Ben, I thought that was done really good, especially with Spider-Man. You get to play around with his athleticism and stuff like that. Like, he's Spider-Man, so it's nice to see that. And also even the fight that's taking place in Times Square, you know, with the balloons and stuff like that, I thought that was a really cool fight, like a little intro to both of them, you know, the hero and the villain. And obviously the last fight was a bit brutal. Like, Jesus, like they got away with all this stuff. Like, it's like literally you see Peter taking a beating. And obviously, if it wasn't for his Spidey sense, maybe he might have died, you know? So I thought that was really well done. So overall, guys, I really had a good time rewatching Spider-Man. I feel like it's an instant superhero movie classic. It's going to be up there in that mantle of like, okay, this is one of the movies that started it all. And I feel like it holds up really well. And with that being said, and all the positives, I have to give Spider-Man an 8 out of 10, guys. I really enjoyed it, like I said. And if you guys haven't checked that out in a long time, I recommend it. Alright guys, so let me know your thoughts on the film in the comment section down below. And remember that I am going to be reviewing Spider-Man 2 and 3 tomorrow. So stay tuned for that, and stay tuned for Friday for my Spider-Man Homecoming review. You guys can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at The Real Talk, Talk with 2Ks. And as always, I'll see you at the movies. Hey there, guys.
You are amazing.